All right. All right, we're here today. I'm so excited. I'm here with Amy. Amy is an old friend of mine. And when did we first meet? When you were 10 years old, and you're 16 now?
Yes.
Excellent. And when did you first start seeing Dr. Chauvin?
I was 7.
You were 7 years old. Now, the interesting thing about you, and I hope it's okay to talk about this, is you were born with a condition. Would you mind talking about that condition?
It's called Mosaic Trisomy 22,
Mm-hmm.
and it's where half of my body is a different size than the other half.
Mm-hmm. And so when you were growing up as a little girl, they did a research study on you. Which university was that? Louisiana.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, it was a Louisiana University research study in the genetic journal, and they documented your case as a little girl, and they demonstrated the difference in your hands and your body size. Also, you were missing hair over one eyebrow. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And part of your hair wasn't growing on part of your head as well, and your leg wasn't growing evenly on the other side. So half your body was not growing at the same rate the other side was.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember what it was like having this condition growing up? Would you mind talking about that?
For me it was normal, because
Right.
it was my body. No, I didn't see anything differently. It was really when I got to be like 5 or 6 when I realized that I wasn't the same, and I got into kindergarten and stuff, and people kind of made fun of me. But I didn't really care, because it was me. And
Right.
I didn't have much caring about that.
Now, when did you start recognizing, or at least now looking back, when did you start realizing that you were sickly and couldn't do the same thing the other kids could do?
Kindergarten and PE, I couldn't
Yeah.
run as fast, and I was slower, and I was like, "Eef."
Right. And so by the time you were 7, when you started seeing Dr. Chauvin, you were quite sick by then.
Yeah, I was always spitting in a little cup and whatnot.
Right.
I was always sick.
Mm-hmm. And so, from what I can remember, because it's going back a few years now, you weren't able to do PE or run, exercise, or do what most children at that age
Yeah,
are doing.
I couldn't do any of that. I was usually sitting out and whatnot.
Yeah. And so when Dr. Chauvin worked on you, what do you remember? Like, what did you notice shift for you? And you were 7 years old at the time.
I noticed we went home after that, and I raced my older brother, and I beat him, and I was like, yeah, because I could finally like run without having to stop and cough and whatnot.
Right.
And it really just became awesomer, I guess,
Yeah.
because I was able to do things that I couldn't do, and it opened up like a new world of fun, I guess you would say.
That's great. And I remember when I saw you, I came out and visited, and we were talking about that. We think you were maybe 10 years old or so. And I remember you were a little jumping bean. You were like going, 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 running up and down the hallway and doing somersaults and everything. So huge, huge, miraculous healing. And Dr. Chauvin, he initiated your rehabilitation with a specific technique that we call holographic transfer. And that's what we feel helped your body, reboot itself basically, and start doing what it's supposed to do. Getting rid of the mucus, getting rid of the things. And my understanding is that the hair started growing back on your eyebrow and your hair immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember all that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I remember looking in the mirror and I was like, yeah.
That's great. Now, I don't know where this is from, if it's from the study that was done. They originally said that they didn't expect you to live past the age of 9. Is that correct?
When I was little, I was like, psh, I can do what I want,
Yeah.
I didn't really have much care about it. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm here, I'm going to live how I want to, I'm going to live for God. And
That's right.
To do.
Good for you. Good for you. And thankfully we helped you.
Yeah, you guys.
And, well, I'm so glad. And now you just told me that you're swimming. Is it a swim team that you're on? Or?
Yeah, I'm on me and Jared swim with sulfur. Jared's a guy from high school.
Okay,
And we swim with sulfur, and we do a lot.
great. And so what are your aspirations? What do you want to do when, do you have an idea?
I kind of want to be a medical examiner
Mhm.
because I'm not really grossed out by stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I figured that would be pretty suitable.
Great, great, excellent. And I remember you had a little brother as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, or was he younger or older than you?
He's younger.
Okay,
And I have an older one too.
okay, excellent. Wow, so how do you feel now compared to when you were younger? Do you feel?
I have more energy
Mhm.
now, and I have more I don't see myself as a different human being. Like I used to view myself as different, odd, not kind of grouped with the same people, and now I feel more closer to the people I'm in school with.
Right, excellent. And is there anything else you want to tell us about, or certain experiences that you've noticed that you're really happy about?
I kind of noticed after the first couple of treatments how I could do more things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I wouldn't sit down and pee anymore. I wasn't being made fun of as much, so
Right.
it's great.
That's awesome. And do you understand the concepts of what we're doing here? Do you have an understanding of the idea of strengthening your nervous system to make your body heal itself?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay, well, you've lived through it. Which is,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of it. It's not an intellectual process. It's about providing your body with everything it needs to do its job. Very simple. But when we get disconnected, whether through injury or through birth trauma or genetics or bad diet, there's all these things that can knock us off of our path of God's glory, of making our body do what it's supposed to do. And what we do in quantum neurology, we say we don't cure, we don't treat, the body. We're just simply making the connections for the body so that it can do its own job. And that's the idea. And so you're a very special girl because, you can't deny the documentation that's been done on you as a little girl. You can't deny the prognosis that they gave you, that, these things are all there.
Yeah.
And now you're a lovely young 16-year-old thriving, fitness and exercise and everything. And that's a beautiful, beautiful story, and I wanted everybody to hear about it. That's great. So is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Do you have any questions, everyone?
No, I think that's a remarkable story.
Absolutely.
I'm just tickled for you, and that's beautiful.
It really is. And it's inspiring because there's so many people out there that don't know that there's hope, that there's a way, and if you didn't happen to come into your was it your aunt's session when you were that age, it's very possible you wouldn't be here. Very possible. And that's, I give glory to God, it's like these happenstances happen, and it's an amazing thing. So, is there anything you want to say to somebody who is dealing with, some illness or injury or something like that?
Really just keep praying, because God will take care of them wherever they end up or what they do. Just keep that connection with God.
Yeah. Now, have you always had a special connection with God, or do you feel because you were sick that you had a stronger connection with God than other people, or?
Yeah, I guess the sick thing, and my mom raised me good, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's good. She'll be happy to hear that.
But, when I was sick, I'd always say, God, just take care of me and let me show your will and stuff. And that
Right.
really brought me closer to him.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's great. Well, you're a wonderful example, and we want to share your story with everybody. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's great.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Very inspiring. Because, I don't know how aware you are of these things. these changes don't happen traditionally. You know, they just don't. So it's a big deal. So I'm very happy for you. I'm so glad you're here. And thank you you made a drive out today, right?
Yeah, I drove myself.
Good for you. Congratulations. About an hour or so?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you being here, and I know you put some other things aside to be here, so I really appreciate it.
It's just school.
It's just cool. It's cool.
No biggie. I can make up the work.
There you go. Well, can I have a hug?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sweetie. Yay. All right, we're gonna shut this down here.